and True Crime. Mama D coming at ya. We're going to be talking a little bit, but we're going to do a disclaimer. So, for those of you that are new to our channel, it's great that you're showing up and tuning in, but there's something you need to know. Here we discuss theories, facts, speculation, opinions, thoughts, feelings. We talk it all. We keep it respectful towards each other, as well as really important that if you dream something or you have a theory or you just want to share your opinion, do not use graphic content in your post, because then I have to quietly escort you out the door due to YouTube's strict community guidelines. All right? So it's best to make sure that we follow that as we dig deep into our opinion, right? Now, I have 6 things, that's all I came up with right now, that really are holding me tight to there's something more to the story with Lilly and Jack Sullivan. What it is, I don't know. But there's 6 individual points that really have me bothered. And before we get into those, I want to mention that in no realm that I can imagine there being a world that works is it normal to lay in bed while children that are under the age of 6 or at the age of 6 have free roam to do as they please, and you just trust them. Okay? That's not okay. In case you're watching and you think that's normal, you need to recheck your thought process, because we have a new world today where kids go missing and millions of folks look back on it with hindsight and go, my God, why wasn't somebody watching these kids? I came home from work one time, this is about 10 years ago. There was an infant in a diaper standing in the middle of the crossroad. Yeah. So it's not okay, especially if they're children with special needs that have pull-ups that need to be changed and so forth. But are we being lied to? That's the question. And I do think there is some things that beg the question, are we being lied to? Am I accusing anyone? No. I'm asking questions. I'm sharing speculation. And so if it triggers you to hear our opinion, because we do have a live audience and I do read a lot of their input as well and share that, then I would not watch, because you might get triggered. And we aren't swayed by somebody coming into our comments and saying you shouldn't speculate, because we are a true crime channel, and no true YouTube true crimer is going to come out here and show real evidence, because real evidence belongs with the authorities. So all YouTube true crimers, we're basically just sharing information and our thoughts, our feelings, and that's what YouTube is about. So that's a little bit about the platform, because I noticed there was a repetition of a certain little group that were absolutely like true crime channel is sharing thoughts and theories, and that's not right. Well, that's what we do here. So that's our disclaimer. Now, I want to say hello to everyone, and remember, I'm going to be sharing what you feel. So at every single time I bring up a point, I'm then going to come back and I'll be reading our live audience, as well as I will be reading our replay crew. Very important replay crew. I thank you very much. But in the live, I'll be reading some of your comments. So make sure as you're hearing this and you want your comment read, just simply put a little heart in front of your comment so that I know that you would like that shared. Okay? All right. So the biggest thing, what I did here was I went through the hot spots where I'm like, that doesn't feel right. But you might have other hot spots, and I think it's worthy of discussing. I do think it is important to truly understand the nature of what may or may not have happened. And so in order to do that, we have to look at what we have and determine, and that's up to you what your opinion is. Each of us has to make a decision on whether we trust the information or we don't. And for me, one of the biggest, let's get this on the board, and we will discuss the door being closed and what that could mean. But first, I think we all, in general, as a general collective, have concern that the last proof of life other than an intimate family member on the property appears to be, to the best of my knowledge, April 29th due to missing school. Which, now what do we do? You know, let me get some light on here. There. Now what do we do? When was the last? See, right off the bat, there's a huge issue. Because the big question is, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, does this imply that the children may have been missing longer? It could, yeah. So the question then becomes, how long have they really been missing? And here's the crux, is the lack of scent trail would suggest that there's no recent scent left by the children, which then logically could lead you in the opinion that it's been a while since the kids' scent was at that location. So I'm going to take you to a moment. There was this family called the West, Jacqueline and Trezell West, that had two foster children, Classic and Sincere, who came up missing. And the foster dad did all kinds of stuff to try to find the kids, blah, 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 blah. They're in trouble now, right? They got caught. And the problem was that the dogs didn't pick up the children's scent on the property. So that's a big problem here, is when we don't have the dogs picking up a scent at all. That's scary. Now, the other one, another case that comes to mind, is the Sebastian Rogers case, where the dogs didn't pick up him past the yard. No cameras did either. And we're still locked in a grid trying to find that young 17-year-old now. Or no, he would be 16 now. 16, now 17. From Hendersonville, Tennessee. So, no dogs picked up that either. And we've all wondered, was he home that night? Why aren't the dogs picking up? If the kids were at the slider door, did the dogs alert on the slider door? But we're hearing the dogs didn't alert at all. Okay. What are your thoughts? Let's get chat pinned on the board. Linda Keach. Hello, lovely. You said, why no mention of checking with brother and grandmother before anything else? That's a big one, right? I'm just trying to lighten it up in here. I've got a cloud going over. Hi, Kimberly Brummett. Hey, Zozo, Rachel, Ocean Deep, Debbie Gazzardo. Is Jennifer Swain here or Jenny Bell? I didn't see anybody yet. Hey, Karen Bell, love. Okay, so Nikki UK is here. Nikki says, yes, I think they was missing longer. Well, and we don't know because we don't have anybody. They didn't go to school before they went missing. And then we have no dogs picking up the scent, so how long have they been away from property? You see what I'm saying? It's bad enough that the children have missed school, but why aren't the dogs picking up the kids all over the place if they were there? Especially on the sliding door. This is my question. Bid, hello and welcome. You said caught on the pole. I want to believe stepdad. Let's have some good news for a change. Please, God, have mercy on us and give us a truthful scenario and children safe home with the people they're supposed to be with that take care of them. Like, for real. This is a total Summer Wells case. I can feel it and it's driving me crazy. The poll. Do you feel the mom and stepdad are being truthful? So this is your chance to voice your opinion. Now, I'm not going to read the results, but I will read you your choices. There's A, B, C, or D. I'm just curious how everybody feels. Yes, they seem honest is your choice if you choose A. If you choose B, you believe the stepdad only. If you choose C, you believe the mother only. And if you choose D, you do not believe either of them. Okay? So feel free to vote at home. I do look and see what you vote. And it does help me to understand where everybody's sitting. But it is a very concerning case. Casey, hello and welcome to Love 11 True Crime. You said kids don't just disappear. One or more of those 4 adults know what happened. I agree that there's got to be something more to it. Hey Zozo, chat's flying, so if I grab the wrong comment, I don't mean to. Marie E says, to me it seems not true what told just by mentioning the boot track in the backyard and the open door. It made a scenario, in my opinion. Ocean Deep, hello, my beautiful. You said the stepdad does sound convincing, but he is forward with all the right words. In my opinion, the mom is confusing. Oh, Ocean Deep, I emailed you. I need information to be able to ship that to you that you left out. I know your address, but I need the name you want me to ship it to, unless you want me to write Ocean Deep 24. So let me know, hon. Hey, Pinky Pump. I hoped initially it could be another Shannon Matthews situation, but there has been no fundraising, so sadly not. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know the Shannon Matthews situation. Kimberly Brummett says, I want to believe the stepdad. As a mom, I could not leave. I would get my baby to safety. Yeah. Okay, let's continue on. This is interesting to me. So, hey Samantha Kelly, thanks for joining. Let's get into this. Dispatch actually reports 8 o'clock is when the children were last seen. However, mother said she reported the children immediately. The report was done, from everything that I'm finding, at 9:40 a.m. So why is dispatch stating that the children were last seen at 8 a.m.? Where is the hour 40 minutes? Were the children missing for an hour and 40 minutes before they got help? Let's listen to dispatch here.
Have they been gone a long time? 0800. Have they been gone a long time? 0800. Have they been gone a long time? 0800.
So what about an hour and 40 minutes? How far could a kid get that time? And if you think about that timeline, if the children really did get noticed at 8 a.m., it makes you wonder, had the older sister, and I need to make a correction, Jack does have a little sister named Meadow. Okay, so could the older sister Lilly have decided for her and Jack to go to school and got picked up right at the... So, wait, I got to get into the next thing about the door closed first. That's what keeps me really questioning things. So, we're going to look at this too. This one gets me. Wait a minute. I'll hold off. I'll hold off. Let's get back up to this. Let's see what you think. Okay, Pinky Pump says Shannon Matthews was a situation when the parents hid a child to raise the money, Mama D. Oh, good Lord. My gosh. Okay. Beck's Creation says QQQ. How far in distance is likely the children walked? Very odd. I thought they would have been found within hours. Yeah, I agree with that. Archer and the Empress says, I just watched your tarot reading of Lilly and Jack, and now I caught alive. That's so cool. Thank you. So confusing. Did they go out? Were they let out? Or is it all BS? Okay. All right. So let's get back into the PowerPoint. If I can grab it. There it is. So that hour and 40 minutes has me boggled. Like, that really bothers me. Last seen at 8 a.m., reported at 9:40. Where's the hour and 40 minutes? And that's even more concerning. Could explain how he was managed. You know, the stepdad is, or boyfriend, is able to check all the creeks, the culverts, all this kind of stuff if he has an hour and 40 minutes. Makes a lot more sense to me. This is my biggest one right now. Not my biggest one, but one of them. The door was closed. So Daniel says they always had to remind the kids to shut the door. So that implies that the kids used the door to exit the home on multiple occasions. Now here's what Daniel says. Whoops. I grabbed the wrong thing. Daniel says, so I looked out the backyard. That's the only other place they would go, and their boots were gone. The door, the slider door, was closed. Usually, they don't close the door. I usually have to remind them to close the door over and over. Now, the door was closed is an important clue to me, because I really don't think that the kids, being as tiny as they were, would have got the door shut silently because of the leverage of those doors. If you've ever had a sliding glass door that's at the age of this home, I'm just saying, that tracking system, it's not that great. And so if you've ever had to understand that you actually have to apply a little pressure to lift up on the door slightly before you bring it forward in most cases. It makes me wonder who closed the door. I just don't see it being the little kids being able to truly close it all the way. And Daniel is reporting that door is closed. So my true crime background makes me think of somebody that might tell the kids, hey, we're going to take you to school. Could be. Somebody that knows, that the kids know and trust. Brings a lot of questions. Who would have been able to close the door for the kids that aren't coming forward and saying, I'm the one that closed the door. It was me. I closed the door. That's really got me. Viv says, how can you check creeks and culverts from a car? I would think you would have to wade the creeks. And you all that are familiar with me know that many years ago, on Easter Sunday, somebody near and dear, a 4-year-old of my family members, I got the call that they had drowned in a little creek and been washed down river. And they searched for hours in that little creek, and I'm talking little creek, hours, before they realized how far Chelsea Rose had been swept downstream. So you have to be in it. You have to be in it waist deep. This had become quite a raging stream because of winter melt-off with snow, and so they were even diving, trying to feel around the bottom. Beck's Creation says, yes, Danny, they were told to always close it. Always close it, right? Over and over, he says. That's a big thing for me. It's almost the clue I'm holding on to, because it's so suspicious that that door was closed. Who closed the door? If you know who closed that door, I think you're that much closer to finding out what could have happened to these babies. And I mean that. I mean that with conviction. Okay. Nikki says, I really don't believe them kids walked anywhere. Hey, Reserved Glitchin', good to see you. Welcome back, my love. Welcome back. Claire says, so they were capable of going outside alone. Didn't the mother say they never went outside without her? She said that they watched them, I believe. Biv says he checked creeks, culverts, etc. But he was driving. He said he went out on foot after coming back from looking in the car at the creeks, etc. Yeah. That is right, Viv. A few inches of moving water can move cars. Truthful. Truthful. Ocean Deep says, my doors are locked no matter what. Let's get into this no plea for the children. This is a big one. I brought the big ones out today because these are what's bothering me in this case. So, the parents, well, the stepdad, acting stepdad, boyfriend, let's be real, boyfriend, right? 3 years into a relationship, you're still a boyfriend. If you're, okay, I'm trying to put it this way. If you are alleging there's an abductor that may have taken your children, even if it's a remote possibility, but you have it in the back of your mind, and a camera that is national or has broadcast wide and far comes in your face, it's natural for the parent to plea, if you believe the child is abducted, to plead like, please, I'll give you anything. Please don't hurt my children. I'm begging you. Because they're trying to connect and bring real person into the mix in case the person's watching. Let alone, if the person's watching, there's a slim but ever so possible hope that while that person is trying to keep tabs on the case, and they hear what you're saying as a parent, your kid might hear in the background too. And so that's when parents say, and if you're listening, listen to me. I need you to do this. I want you to know I love you. We are working to find you. We miss you. You want to comfort your baby. You want that child to know that you're trying to get to them, and you will. And that's not happening. That's not happening. I'm not hearing either one of the parents ask for help. Can you please get their posters out there? Heck, mom ain't even doing any poster work at all. Silent. Crickets. I personally could not be stopped from sharing my child's missing poster. You would have to take me to court. You would have to legally get a binding means to stop me. And even then, I would probably still go jail because I'd be sharing my missing kid's poster. Sebastian Rogers' case, the parent, the dad, the real biological father is wearing shirts with the child's face on it. like a lot of parents do that are considered innocent, because they're broadcasting. They're taking every minute to get the face of the child out there. At least when the stepdad's doing interviews, quite often I'm seeing him holding pictures of the children. I didn't see that from the maternal. So, rather than updating your relationship status on social media, why not share a poster of your missing children? And not pleading and begging when you were on camera the one time for someone, if you believe that an abduction's possible, how come you're not asking your one chance? You've only got one chance. You're only doing one interview. You don't plead for your child. No, you try to comfort everybody by saying, well, the weather was poor yesterday. They were probably cold and wet, but the sun is out today, so I'm hoping they're warm. How about hoping they're alive and safe? How about emotion being attached to any of this? When there is no urgency to get help from whoever you can. Please, I don't know who you are, but if you know anything about my baby is this person and this person, can you please get in contact with us? This is so important. I can't live without them. Something. Give us something to go on. Okay? Nothing. We have nothing. Beck's Creations, I agree with you. Yep, you'd be begging and pleading heart out. Marie says, I wanted to say if it happened in the morning, someone had to unlock the door, especially when I see where they live. It must be very windy. Come through. I don't know, because even with the wind, it's a slider, so it's not going to blow open. You feel me? So I don't know if the door was locked or not. Nikki says, in her opinion, Mom is too busy letting everybody know she's single. Claire says, I'd be on my hands and knees begging. And that's normal. To be a basket case and absolutely snot bubbles and not even being able to finish a thought and a sentence. You're not going to be completely composed if everything is running through your mind. Look at Brandy Neal. How many interviews that poor woman has given where she's in shambles. In shambles because Michael Vaughn, her son, is still to this day not found. Innocent parents can't hold it together. We all grieve different, yes. It's something is wrong with sleeping while you're aware that your children are awake and they're all little kids. And if there is any sort of rugs or anything, you certainly better be up early, because what if, just a wild speculation, what if that ain't sugar that the kids got into to put on their cereal? You feel me? I mean, let's keep it real here. And I'm not saying that happened in this situation. I'm saying keep your eyes and ears on your kids. And I say eyes. It don't matter if you can hear them. It matters if you can see them. Ocean Deep says, I understand they will be distraught, but they are talking like it's someone else's kids. I mean, it bothers me when you hear a parent say, remember, there's 2 kids out there still. Like they're a dime a dozen or something. That house, I bet the whole house moved when the opening of that door. That's a good question. Okay, Pinky Pop, is sharing their opinion. I still can't get past any parents sleeping in the bed with 2 young kids in the house, especially with additional needs. 2 ill to go to school and 1 still in nappies. It's crazy. Now, here's the big one. Here's the big one. Let's get into this. I'm going to hide back here so that you can see what I'm saying. Whoops, wrong button. Suspicion. It's not just that the general public is really looking at these parents suspiciously. It's that they're looking at each other suspiciously. Okay? And we know that. Mother and BF state they were together when kids go missing. So how can they suspect the other? If they're together, how can they suspect the other? I'll tell you how. It's if they lied. That's the only way, in my humble opinion, they would suspect the other, is if they didn't know what the other was doing. Were they not together? How can you be, okay, hold on. Mama D got to break down a little scenario, and I want to make this clear to you how strange this is right here. All right. You and a friend get into an elevator together. It's the 2 of you, right? As you land on the 3rd floor, the doors open, you step out with your partner from the elevator, and you're both doused in water from a pail of water above. Do you turn to your partner and say, what did you do to me? Do you turn to your partner and be like, you just doused me in water? No, because that's stupid. Because you know damn well where they were. You know, scientifically it's impossible because they were with you, unless they were not in the elevator with you. Then they had the access, the opportunity to do something. But if they're with you, it removes the opportunity and therefore removes suspicion of you. Do you feel me? Do you smell what I'm stepping in? I'm just bringing it to you real. I'm reading ahead of time because there was some very harsh descriptive words used in somebody's dream that they thought happened to one of the kids, and YouTube told me watch my chat to make sure it meets community guidelines. So before I share it, I'm reading the comments, so it's taking me a little bit further. Yeah, Viv, please be careful. Even though you're referring to your own family member, you have to be careful about how you say things. I don't know. And then the last thing, that was the big one. That's the biggest for me, I think. It's hard to say what one of these is the biggest because they're all huge red flags that something is not right here. Let's look at this one. Bootprint found did not have either child's scent. That's a big problem. And that implies that there is no scent at the home, around the home, or leaving the home. There's no trail of these children leaving the home. Could that bootprint been from a much earlier time and therefore wouldn't have scent? And so without any type of markings or scent, the biggest question is, did these children then leave by vehicle? And that would go right hand in hand with somebody closing the door, because it would take an adult to drive the car. And I personally am suspicious if the kids could close that door all the way by themselves because of the leverage it takes to work one of those doors. The handle's way up high. Yeah. It really makes me wonder. How do you not pick up a scent? That's my point. Pinky Pump says that scent is a big red flag. Kids that age fall over and grab and bump into things when wandering about. Lisa Foster is telling whoever gifted her the membership, thank you. Yeah, we had a great time on our Starlights last night in Starlight World. Nikki UK says makes more sense. As I said, them kids never walked. Yeah. And Katrina Evans is sharing her opinion, and she says someone took them, in my opinion. To me, it looks like the whole house would move just walking around. In your opinion, Vicky? Could be. This is what I'm talking about. Ocean Deep's got the point. I believe the children were put in the car, says Debbie. But Ocean Deep here, let's get off the board and move chat up here. The doors can be quite tough to pull on, and some are anyways. A lot of them, especially those older models. Those tracks are built like crap in the first place. We all know that, especially in trailer homes. And it gets to where the locks break. It gets to where the handles break. I've lived in one. I know. I've lived in many. Let's check our poll. All right, we have over 100 votes, so get your vote in right now because I'm about to share the poll. Thank you, lovely, for the reminder, Earth Angel. Okay. Do you feel mom and stepdad are being truthful? So we have well over 100 votes. I believe it's 120 something. And A, yes, they seem honest. B, I believe the stepdad only. C, I believe the mother only. Or D, I do not believe either of them. So the least favorite is yes, they seem honest at 2%. The second least favorite is the answer C. I believe the mother only 5%. And then coming in at second place with answer B is I believe the stepdad only at 10%. Which means that 83% of you absolutely do not believe either of the parents, answer D. And the reason I can't believe either of the parents is because they were together. They would know if the other one should be suspicious or not. So how are you suspicious of somebody that was with you? It doesn't work for me. Aw, God bless you too, lovely. Thank you, Earth Angel, for the $10 snooper chat. That is so kind, my love. I greatly appreciate that. Nick says, none of it makes sense. Why 2 children off school due to one having a cough? Why would you have a party with young children in the house who are either sick or have school? We don't know if they had a party. We have no idea if that was a party. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Could have been a family reunion. We have no idea at this point. So I can't say they had a party, but I do feel it's suspicious that it's being alleged there were a lot of cars there either the 2 days before or a day before. That is weird. Yes, Nick, I agree. Why was she not up feeding them breakfast instead of sleeping? Too many questions is heartbreaking. Poor little babies. And if you need to lay with the baby, luckily your partner's home, so he could get up with the kids, right? Hey, White Wolf, good to see you again, too. Good to see you. Earth Angel says, I'd be searching everywhere for them, everywhere. Aw, she says, you're welcome, Mama D. So let me know what your thoughts are on this. Why does dispatch state that it's 8 a.m. when the mother reported it at 9:40? That is approximately an hour and 40 minutes. What in the world? Because she claimed that she called for help immediately. Is an hour and 40 minutes immediately? I don't feel it is. Lorna says, in your opinion, that it's a case of neglect at the very least. Samantha Kelly says, just hit that like, everybody. Please do. Thank you, lovely. We're going to end right here for today with Debbie Gazzardo. And she says, so many red flags. I pray these children are safe. And I do too. I pray that Lilly and Jack Sullivan are found safe and sound. I pray that with all my heart. And I know you do too. I love you guys very, very much. And I will see you again tomorrow. And pray for news. You know, it can happen. Miracles have happened, and it happens. So maybe they'll be found safe and sound. I love you to the moon and back, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now, my loves.